We're making Ghapama today. Ghapama is a traditional Christmas dish in Armenia. Literally, it means cooked in a covered pot and symbolizes a sweet life. In the older days, it was cooked in tonir, the traditional Armenian oven, similar to tandoor. Essentially, Ghapama is a stuffed and baked pumpkin which is served between New Year and Christmas, which Armenians all over the world celebrate on January the 6th. And the way it is served is a pure performance. Hang out with us today and enjoy the show. Usually I start with prepping the stuffing. It's made with dried fruits, raisins, chopped nuts, cinnamon, honey, butter, and partially cooked rice. Here I have apricots and prunes, which I like chopping before cooking to make them bite-sized and more comfortable to enjoy. When the family is large or there is a big gathering, a larger pumpkin is used. This time I'm making the Ghapama in the smaller cute pumpkins to send to friends for whom this is going to be a small surprise. After washing the pumpkin's exterior and drying them with a kitchen towel, I rinse the rice and let it drain. Then I take the tops off of each pumpkin and reserve them to use a bit later as a lid. To create space for the stuffing, I'm scooping out the seeds and fibers. Often it is hard to remove them, but if you have a carving knife or a melon baller with quite sharp edges, it is much easier to scrape out the stringy fibers. To know how much stuffing you need, there is an easy way. As all the pumpkins are different in size, here's a useful hack. Fill the cavity of your pumpkin with water and then pour it into a measuring jar. For every 100 milliliters or 1 liter, it will take 1 cup of uncooked rice, 50 grams apricots, 50 grams prunes, 25 grams of raisins, and same amount for the dried sour cherries, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and walnuts and almonds, each by 25 grams as well. Of course, you can change these ratios to your liking, but at least they will guide you to make the right amount of the stuffing. Pre-cooking the stuffing is the next step. On low heat, melt 30 grams of butter in an open skillet, then add the cinnamon. Give it a stir and add the nuts. Fry them on a slightly higher heat for 2 or 3 minutes so that the butter and nuts don't burn. Then add a large rind of orange zest, which will infuse the stuffing with a light citrusy flavor, and let it cook for another minute, constantly stirring. Add the dried fruits and combine everything well to incorporate the flavors. And then add freshly squeezed juice of a half of a large orange. Stir and let it caramelize a bit, and then take off the heat and set aside. Bring plenty of water to boil, add a couple generous pinches of salt, and cook the rice. I'm cooking 2 cups of rice today, as I love making extra amount of stuffing to enjoy the next day as well. 3 liters of water is enough in my case. Cook the rice only partially, until it just breaks but is not mushy. Drain the rice and in the same pot melt butter and infuse it with a few pieces of the orange zest. Then add the rice and fruits with nuts, combine all together and drizzle with about 4 tablespoons of honey. Add the orange juice from another half of the orange, stir again, check the seasonings, and adjust to your liking by adding more salt or honey. Set the stuffing aside. Set the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. Next, season the cavity of the pumpkin with salt, add a knob of butter in the bottom, drizzle with honey, and fill with the stuffing. Once all pumpkins are filled, top them with a few more pieces of orange zest and drizzle with more honey. I use about a tablespoon of honey per each pumpkin. Close the pumpkins with the tops and placing them on a large baking tray lined with parchment paper, sent to the preheated oven for 45 or 60 minutes or until the wooden skewer inserted in the pumpkin smoothly pierces it. Once the Ghapama is cooked, cover each pumpkin with a thin layer of melted butter to make them shine. Now my favorite part comes. Ghapama is cut into wedges until it resembles the sun or an open flower, and then served with more honey. It is one of the brightest Armenian dishes and has its own folk song about how hamov hotov Ghapama is, which means how tasty and flavorful Ghapama is. If you prefer a vegan diet, Ghapama easily converts into pure plant-based dish by only replacing the butter with neutral vegetable oil and honey with maple or date syrup. All ingredients and measurements are listed in the description below. I hope you liked this episode, and if so, comment and share it with your family and friends and give this recipe a try. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next video.